So let's just give a hand first for Upananda Prabhu. Thank you.
Oh, someone needs to just put it on there. But you want to put the shloka there? 624. All first for the invocation.
Oh, you guys hear that?
Hare Krishna. I also wish to join with Bhajan Govinda in extending a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for coming and joining the Radio Sunday program. This meeting, I have the privilege of giving class, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I hope that I can give something of value. And for me to be able to do that, I need the mercy of all of you and the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. So please join with me and with one voice we all pray for the mercy from Lord Sri Krishna via Guru and Parampara. Is okay?
Yes.
So we can in one voice. Om Jnanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Bhagavatam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupamayam Tati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddhaparakamam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarupam Pariyadasaikam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Deva Shri Chakravikamsha Hare Krishna Dharma Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Rama Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancharakalurascha Kripa Sindhu Varevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupradaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachaline Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vesatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So my assigned verse is verse 24 from chapter 6. And you can repeat after me. This is one short prayer before speaking more detail about them. 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 6 sundars. Yeah.
Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga. D-H-Y-A-N-A.
Okay, yes. Dhyana Yoga.
Yeah.
It's very close to Dhyana Yoga. So that means
Yeah. That's why I spelled it out.
Dhyana means meditation or Ashtanga Yoga. So I will okay. So I will read and then you follow after me, please. Sanishchayena yothavyo
Sanishchayena yothavyo yoga nirvina chetasa
sankalpa prabhavan kamas sattva sarvana
Tyakva sarvana sheshtah
manasavendriya gamam
manasavendriyagramam
viniyamya samantatha
viniyamya samantatah.
Sanishchayena yoktavyo
Sanishchayena yotavyo
yogo nirvina chetasa
yoga nirvina chetasa
sankalpa prabhavam kamams
sankalparamam
tyaktva sarvam asheshata
tyakva sarva sheshtah
manasavendriya gramam
manasavendriyagramam
viniyamya samantata
viniyamya samantatah.
Anyone from the inside?
Sanishchayena yoktavyo
Sanishchayena yoktavyo
yogo nirvina chetasa
yogo nirvina chetasa
sankalpa prabhan kamams
sankalpa prabhavam kamam
yakva sarvam asheshatah
tyakva sarvana sheshtah
manasan vindriya gramam
manasavendriyagramam
viniyamya samantatah
viniyamya samantatah.
Translation. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. One should be sure of success at the end and pursue the course with great perseverance, not becoming discouraged if there is any delay in the attainment of success. Success is sure for the rigid practitioner. Regarding Bhakti Yoga, Rupa Goswami says, Utsahan Nischaya Dayadat Tata Karma Pavartanat Sangatyadat Sato Vited Chatvid Bhakti Tatsidyati. Translation to that one. One can execute the courses of Bhakti Yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination by following the prescribed duties in the association of devotees and by engaging completely in activities of goodness. This verse is taken from Upananda or Nectar of Instruction, also it's called verse 3. As for determination, One should follow the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the waters of the ocean. A sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away the eggs on its wings. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her even. So the sparrow decided to fly to the ocean. She began to take out the water in her small beak. Everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. The news of her activity spread, and at last Garuda, the gigantic carrier of Vishnu, heard it. He became compassionate toward his small sister, and so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination of the small sparrow, and he promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. Thus the sparrow became happy by the grace of Garuda. Similarly, the practice of yoga, especially bhakti yoga in Krishna consciousness, may appear to be a very difficult job. But if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord will surely help for what help those who have been source. So I'll read the translation of this verse. Dear Lord Sri Krishna is saying, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination, faith, and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon, without exception, all material desires, form of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all sides like a mind. So, we can split this course here. The purpose of this course is actually mentioned at the end of this translation. The purpose of this course is actually telling us what we need to do in order to be able to control all the senses like the mind. And the first line says one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga. Yoga means to link with God. And then this chapter title is Meditation and Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Or Ashtanga Yoga, because it consists, Jnana Yoga consists of 8 steps. But when this time, Srila Prabhupada in the purport did not say anything about Jnana Yoga, but he talks of one can have success. One can have success in executed bhakti yoga. You see, there are several types of yogas. We have karma yoga, we have jnana yoga, knowledge, yoga and knowledge. We have jnana yoga and we have bhakti yoga. So we find in 25, even this same chapter 6, we find from 33 to 35. Arjuna says about this Dhyana Yoga, which was previously explained in 6th chapter. Arjuna says in 33, Yoyam Yogas Paya Prokta, Samyen Madhusudan, Itasyaham na Pashyami, Chanchara Paskiti Gram. Oh Madhusudan, that's the name of Krishna. The system of yoga that you summarized, all this 8 system that is which makes up Dhyan Yoga. Enables one to meditate on a Paramatma. This system of yoga you have summarized, O Krishna, appears impractical and unenjoyable. Next word, Chanchala Krishna, but the mind is unsteady and restless, obstinate, very strong, controlled. So we find that this Dhyan Yoga was not practical for Arjuna, who appeared in a different age before this one, so many over 4,000 years ago, in a better age. And he was an associate of Krishna. But Arjuna is representing us. And it was not practical for people like us in a better age, much less now. That is why Srila Prabhupada states that there will be success in yoga, in Bhakti Yoga. But there will not be success in Dhyan Yoga.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So, also, if there's the impersonalists who go meditate on the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, and that is also almost impossible. There's a verse, I think 12:5 that says, one who meditates on the impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome for the embodied. One who meditates on the impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. So, it's concluded here that in the last verse of the sixth chapter, which is of verse 47, Krishna, before he wanted to die, when Arjuna puts it to Krishna that he cannot practice this kind of yoga because the mind is restless, unsteady, very strong, obstinate. And so Krishna says in 6:35, Asamshayam Mahabaho Manadurganam Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Yukta Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagya Cha Yate. So Krishna is saying, okay, I hear you. Indeed, it's undoubted that the mind is difficult to control. Yes, mind is difficult to control. But it can be controlled by proper practice. Abhyasena kutu kaunteya. Proper practice. And vairagya chadritati. So, you may say, why am I talking about the mind? And this verse talks about one must control all the senses with the mind. The reason is because it is impossible to control the senses without the mind. Without first controlling the mind. It's impossible. Because if you go to verses 260 to 63, we'll see. 2:6 or there, or you can go to 262 and 263. While 262 says, while contemplating the object of the senses, contemplating is thinking. While contemplating the object of the senses, one develops attachment for them. And from attachment comes lust, and from lust comes anger. And from the next verse, 63, from anger, one memories become bewildered. And when one becomes bewildered, he falls down. So this is a fall down process. This is how people fall down. And the beginning of the fall down, it is mind, uncontrollable mind. while contemplating an object of the senses. One with loss attachment. And from attachment comes lust, desire and lust, and all these things like that. So the mind is the culprit, is the root cause. So that is why it is important to control his monkey mind. That is why in this verse it says here, Srila Prabhupada said one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination, like a sparrow, a small bird. Because if the Lord sees that we are determined, He will help us. We see Srila Prabhupada, how determined he was. He was feeling incapable of carrying out his instruction with Guru Maharaj. And we see how determined he was. He was refused, the owner of the state of the cargo ship. He refused to give him a passage that take a place on the ship to travel to America. But he sat down, he went all over, he sat down, he wouldn't go. He was determined. He went back and she was given she gave him all logical reasons why he shouldn't give him, because he was old, he's going to die, there's his cold and all these things. But he was determined. His determination bore fruit. When he arrived in America, penniless almost, and he had a real hard time in the very beginning. But he was determined. He wasn't getting help from his godmothers and so forth, these things. But his determination bore fruit. We saw his determination when they were fighting for that land in Johor Beach, Bombay. His summer visitor, he said, I bet Prabhupada gave it up. He was determined, and eventually determination bore fruit. So we have to be determined when in our practice, even though we don't see success right away. There's a verse talks about determination. Tatenu kampam susamitamano unjane vatna kritami pakam irvamapabir vidadan namaste jivaitaya mukti padesa jayava. One who patiently waits for the Lord to bestow his causes motion on him, all the while suffering reaction going on for his past misdeeds. All the while bowing down to the Lord with his heart, words and body. Is showing eligible for salvation because it has become his rightful claim. Patiently wait. We saw this Srila Prabhupada actually quote this verse from Nectar of Instructions. Which let me read that. One can execute the process of bhakti yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance and determination, perseverance against all odds, with enthusiasm. And we have a very good example of enthusiasm like this temple. And most of us take note of it. You have a devotee who is very, very enthusiastic, super enthusiastic. It's a good example to follow. That is one of the qualities that's required, enthusiasm. And also, this verse talks about faith. There must be faith. And we find, I hinted earlier about the last verse of chapter 6, which talks about, even though chapter 6 of meditation on yoga, this last verse says, and in answer to, it says that, can you give some assurance to Krishna and all of us, to Arjuna and all of us? When Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham manitinam karatana sadavan bhajat yomam samil. And all yogis, he who abides in me with great faith, Sadavan bhajat yomam, worship me When there's total loving service unto me, with great faith, Shadawan, with great faith. He is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So this talks about the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga over all other yoga processes, and it also talks about the importance of faith, Shraddha. There's another quality here that we see. Srila Prabhupada quoted in this, and also in the Porsche. Not be deviated, that Porsche brings. One should abandon without exception. One should abandon without exception all material desires. In order to be able to control all his senses, one must abandon all material desires, or give up all material desires. Because there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita says, as a boat is swept away on the water, even one of the roaming senses can carry a man's intelligence, a man who is endeavoring for perfection, a man of this. Even one of the, as a boat is swept away on the water by a strong wind, a man of discrimination can lose his focus. A man of discrimination who is endeavoring for perfection. We find examples in the scripture. Saubari Muni is one. He was looking for perfection. He was in the water, doing tapasya in the water, and he saw two fish mating, and that agitated his mind. And he decided, he was thinking, he looked at it, he saw it, he looked at it, and that agitated his mind. And from his mind, the desire came for him to indulge in that kind of sexual activities. Came out of the water, and he went and he asked one king, he wanted one of his daughters in marriage. Big money, big money. And the king said, I don't decide for them, my daughters, they decide who they want. And when he went, all 50 daughters, all of them wanted to marry him. He's my daughter. And later on he realized he was not happy. He was not satisfied. He indulged so much in sexual activity, and all that is happening is like, when you have a fire here, pouring ghee, the more you indulge in it, it's like it's pouring ghee all the time. It's just pouring, I keep pouring, pouring, and they have to satisfy. So he realized his mistake. And then he went back. And he left and he went back and with determination and made sure he didn't fall prey to distraction. We saw, can you recall another example? Earlier one got distracted because of the mind. Senses and mind, of course, I said organ. The sense is the root cause of the mind. Ajamil. Correct. Ajamil. Very nice example. Ajamil was a young Brahmin boy, well trained by his father. He got father married him to a beautiful, very, very decent young girl. But he went one day to pick flowers and fruits from the forest to offer to the deities. And suddenly he bumped into two young people, a prostitute and a young man, carrying on, indulging sex activity. He saw with his eyes. And by seeing that, he couldn't, he couldn't get that out of his mind. He couldn't get that woman out of his mind. He went home and he couldn't get that. So same verse, like chapter 2 verse 62 says, while contemplating the object of the sense, One day lost attachment for the attachment lost come. Lost. So that was a position with him. He saw it, he saw that, and he couldn't get it out of his mind, and then he became strong. Desire got so strong. When the desire got strong, it became called lust. As a matter of fact, any desire which is not aimed at pleasing the Supreme Lord is called lust. When desire is aimed at pleasing the Supreme Lord, then it's called love. So he couldn't get that out of his system. So much so that he hired a prostitute to come and work as a maid in his home. And then he started to have a care and affair with the prostitute, and he gave up his wife, and so forth. And then, and he involved in so many, after he spent his father money and so forth, so much simple activity to maintain his prostitute. But one good thing, he gave his son's name, and Narayan, one of his sons. Because, why? Some sages ate at his house, and advised him to give his name next son name Narayan. Why? Because he coveted, he was a devotee in the beginning. And what Krishna says in 9:41, the Arjuna, because you are born in my devotee, my devotee was here. So here, this was providence because of the pious activities. He gave his son the name Narayan. And he called that name unconsciously when he doubted those that were coming from him. He became scared, he called him in sincerely, but he was calling his son Narayan. And he had to escape and so forth. But then Vishnu, so the Lord sent his messenger, who came and said, stop. No, you can't take him. He called all of us. They say, why? He committed so many sinful activities. Our master, he has not sent us. Then no, he called the name of the Lord. You can't take him. All the sin become eradicated. So you see how potent the holy name of the Lord is. When you call it consciously, unconsciously, jokingly, if a person Srimad that says if one call the Lord's name Lord unconsciously, jokingly or for physical entertainment, so many sins are eradicated. Much of we call the Lord name consciously. Anybody has any question in the meantime, or any comment you want to make? I lost my train of thought. So we see also, this mind is so hard to control. But Krishna talks in 6:45, I mentioned already. The only way is to engage it constantly in the service of the Lord. And we see, if we go to chapter 2, verse 61, can you bring that verse up, Prabhu? Another. 2:61 tells how we can keep the mind under control. Can someone read a purport of 261? Very purport. The translation, please. Is it up there?
Yeah.
One who retains his senses, keeping them under full control, his consciousness upon
Restrains his senses, keeping them under control, and fixes his consciousness on me as a man very intelligence. So it says that whenever the senses or the mind wanders, whenever the mind wanders, even when we're chanting, and the mind wanders, we have to bring it back under the control of the self. We have to bring it back and engage in Krishna conscious activity or thoughts. A tortoise. When a tortoise sees danger, it withdraws its limbs. Similarly, when there is danger, we have to entangle our mind wanders and goes on those sinful thoughts. We have to bring it back under the control and bring it back and engage in the thoughts of Krishna conscious activities or Krishna's pastimes. And you read the same verse here, it tells, and a classical example of a devotee who was able to do this successfully is Ambarisha Maharaj. And if we go down under the purport here, the purport of this verse here is a very nice. From the second sentence here, unless one is Krishna consciousness, unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control his senses. Unless one is thinking of Krishna or Krishna activities, it's not possible to control the senses. I cited about it with C.S. Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarisha, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. Ambarisha couldn't check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as a sage or a devotee to the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustice and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications. How Ambarisha Maharaj was able to control his senses and began following his footsteps maybe as much as far as practical. King Ambarisha fix his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So when evil thoughts come, or we see something we're not supposed to see. There are so many things on the internet these days, you gotta be careful what you look at. So when such thing happens, quickly we should bring our thoughts on the lotus feet of Krishna. He engaged his words, describing the abode of the Lord. His hands in cleaning the temple of the Lord. So this is one thing you can do. We know that the temple, at least you can imagine making the temple. Or if you know altar in home, if your home is like a temple, you know. And he engaged his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. If you put on a lecture or something, or listen or read the pastimes of the Lord in Ken Canto or Krishna book. So the whole Krishna book. Get all the Lord pastime. One book, Krishna book, which you take and get a copy, you know, and read it. All the Lord pastimes are there. He used his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord is here in his eyes are bigger form. He used our eyes in seeing the form of the Lord. He used his body in touching the body of the devotee. His nostrils in smelling the fragrance of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. His tongue in tasting tulsi leaves offered to him. His legs in traveling to holy places where his temple is situated. His head in offering obeisances unto the Lord. And his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. He uses desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. It is important to cultivate proper desire. Because from desire, thinking, feeling, and willing. So So that's why we talk about association is very important. Vaishnava association is very important. We associate with devotees. Whatever activities you take part in, that those are the activities you'll be exposed to. If we associate with devotees, evil people, we'll see the evil things that we see, we'll be get caught up in all those things. And it's always desires and fulfilling desire of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Samsiddhi Haritoshanam Swadoshtita Dharmasya Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. The highest dharma, Swadoshtita Dharmasya, the highest dharma, the highest religious principle is to Samsiddhi Haritoshanam, do everything for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So if we cultivate that desire, keep that desire in our heart, how can we please the Supreme Lord? How can we please the Supreme Lord? How do we know what to do? Guru is external manifestation of the Supreme Lord. He gives us some instructions. In 11th canto we find that. 11th canto, 17th chapter, I think 27 verse. Buddha was telling the Lord, oh Lord, you're so kind, you appear externally. You appear internally as Super Soul, Paramatma, and externally as Acharya, Guru. Just to teach them the conditioned soul how to go back home back to you. So, Guru is external manifestation of Krishna. So whatever he says, that's also instructions coming directly from Krishna directly to Guru, to us. So basically, rule of thumb, whatever pleases Guru will please Krishna. And also, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives so many direct instructions given. And instructions must be followed. Some instructions are in 434. Just try to learn it by opposing a spiritual master and correct. These are instructions. 927. Anyone remember 927? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever ask you to perform, do that. Also as an offering to me. Now you have instructions. Sarvadharman Parityajam Amik. Upon an hour Bible religion, just surrender to me. Surrender to me, I shall deliver from all sinful reactions, have no freedom. 2 times he said, Manmana, 924, Manmana, Muhammad Bhakto, Manyadi Man, Guru. Mami voices in your Atmana. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Offer your homage unto me. Because you will come to me to fear. These are instructions from Krishna. Direct instructions. There is not even what here. This is an instruction. So we should learn all of Krishna's instructions and try to follow them. And then follow Guru instructions. The thing is, the mind is always active. The monkey mind is called monkey mind. If it is not engaged in Krishna activity, it will be engaged in Maya activity. Simply that. So the best thing, I try to try what I'm still lacking in many ways. When I get up and I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking of maybe some verses or something, some song, chanting some song in my mind. During Kartik, when I was small, I was, kind of humming a little bit the song, the song we sing for Kartik. Damadastakam. And then, of course, when you're bathing, you see Pranam, invoke Gandhra and all these things. You see that? And then when you're finished bathing, and I would sing them. We can do things like this. I was singing Samsara and then right down. Then I put on my tilak. And then and just do my eye, I say Tulsi prayer, and I sing Tulsi song, and then I say the meaning and all this like that. So even when I'm preparing my eye, my yoga offering playtime, or the 10 offenses against chanting the holy name and all these things, and like that you can do. And when you eat in lunch or something, some lecture or something like that, as much as possible. You finish the rounds, you driving, you sing, as much as possible. Let's say Krishna consciousness. If not, Maya will take over. So, this is a good example. So we can see how we can engage. If we not on, there's something called Manas Seva. You come to the temple, you can do Seva. There's some services. We can engage it. If we not here, you can not think, how can I improve my service and go to the temple? Thoughts of that. Or when you're chanting your rounds in the morning, you go in front of the deity, you know, a picture of the Lord. I mean, if the Guru is there, chant around for the Guru and meditate on the qualities of the Guru and his instructions, how you will please. Then you move on to Prabhupada. All that Krishna consciousness after this. What the nature of Prabhupada is. And meditate on his sacrifice. You know, and Bhaktisiddhanta, he was a Nashtika Brahmachari and he was uncompromising and very strict and all these things. And also, you know, one wrong you can chant each of them, and then Hare Krishna Das Bhagavati you can chant. And you see how he was how hard so it took, how he finally chanting of the holy name so much. That he shut out all distraction. He went to chant, he didn't want people to distract him. He went and locked it tight, toilet and locked the door and chanting there because to avoid being distracted. But we know what we do. We have our phone there and we try to chant and our phone there distracting us. Either, chant, try to put our phone aside. Things like that. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he doesn't waste a single time. We should not try to avoid wasting time. He does his work as magistrate every day, and then his early morning on he does his spiritual activities. He doesn't waste time. He has a clock and he's very disciplined. You can take inspiration and so when you go to this Sunday 6 Goswami, we can see how they had big jobs. And they gave it up. And when they went, they distributed the wealth and they lived so simple and austere life. Take an example from them. Get inspiration from them. So bit by bit, we can improve. And when you go to Lord Nityananda and Tulsi Mata, most merciful.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Tulsi Mata is most merciful, more forgiving of the most simple of all sins. Please forgive us sins and whatnot and so forth. And meditate on Tulsi, such austere she is performing, studying in the courthouse with everything in one place. And beg for a drop or potency to render for you to do us to render pleasing service to the Lord and the devotees. Because that's what he does. The Lord is not pleased with our Tulsi leaf. He's very pleased by our service. And let us, when you go to each personality, the most merciful incarnation, most merciful Guru, get under most merciful Lord, then it becomes Krishna Prem, Lord Gauranga. We just meditate on the qualities and, we gotta pray, ask for, their blessings. So the Prabhupada was praying. He got the instruction from his spiritual life. He was praying that he used to go Radha Govinda, we used to live in a small room there. He used to go to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi in the yard outside there. And he used to go every night and sleep around and train Rupa Goswami Samadhi and cry and beg Rupa Goswami, please, my Guru Maharaj, give me this service. Please empower me. I feel I'm not a qualified. Please empower me. And Rupa Goswami appeared to him and he said, go, I will be with you. I will be with you. You will have success. That's why he always says, he's that's why he has such faith. And he always says also, the Prabhupada says his Guru Maharaj is always with him. So we got to pray. Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada in this verse talks about we should engage in devotional service. And there's so many devotional service that can take up more than a day, more than 24 hours. 64 limbs of devotional service. 64 hours, 64 limbs. But Prahlad Maharaj narrate down to 9. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Bhagasevanam, Acharam, Bhagavam, Dasam, Satyam, Atam, Manam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, worshiping the Lord of the lotus feet. Praying to the Lord. Becoming one friend, a friend to the Lord, so for all these things, and so on, and surrounding one very self to the Lord. These are 9 closest to devotional service. And Rupa Goswami listed 5, but it's called the 5 most potent devotional practices that we can involve in to take up our time. So I don't have any time to pull us down. So many, these 5 potent devotional practices. And they are associate with devotees, take care of devotees, read Bhagavatam daily, read scripture daily, chanting or chanting Mahamantra, worship the deities, reside in a holy place. You can reside in Mathura or holy places outside. Make your home at holy places. Have the presence of the Lord there in the art in whatever form, like a picture or daily form. So these 5 potent devotional practices we can engage in. So the technique here is to be able to control the mind and the senses. If one cannot control the mind and the senses, he cannot be liberated. At time of death, 8:516 of Bhagavad Gita. 8:5 said, Krishna said, Antakarya Chamami was Maranmukha. At end of life, at death, if one remembers me, he comes to me. In the next verse 6, Yam Yamapi Smaran Bhavam Kachadyati Antikalivaram. I'm telling you, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that's the that you don't feel. If you remember, many people now, instead of trying to serve God, they have a dog, serving the dog, and it's not attached to their pet. King Bharat Maharaj, gave up his kingdom and went to achieve perfection in the forest. He came in contact with a small deer and he took the deer in his ashram and became attached to the deer. And gave up his sarada and slapped on his sarada. And when he was dying, he was taken with the deer. The deer left and went into the bush and didn't come back, didn't return. And he was thinking of the deer. And when he died, he was thinking of the deer. He took part of the deer next life. So, in order to be able to think of Krishna, we have to free ourselves, become qualified. At the end of life, we have to become qualified. Free ourselves from material attachment. It's a gradual process, and we have to pray for mercy. Because we can't do anything on our own. The first Krishna Prabhupada in his book says, and God help those who help themselves. God see the effort of this sparrow, send Garuda. God not her eggs. God help those who help themselves. But we have to pray. We have to engage in that devotional activities. So, are there any comments or any? Thank you for this. Any comments or questions?
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. Very nice talk. Arjun was determined not to fight. Arjun was determined not to fight. Then what? So how do we evaluate those kind of determinations? That I made my mind, I'm not going to fight, that's it, no? Or I'm not going to do some of these things. So we leave it at that, or we consult, we cross-check, or what should we do?
Actually, Arjun was confused. To say I'm not confused of my duty, I'm confused of my duty. He was actually confused and he was putting up, right? He was putting up, the right in a sense, he was putting up all logical reasons why he should not fight. Sin will overcome him. There will be violence and scar, unwanted population, because all the men will be killed and the women will be polluted, unwanted progeny, and the king will become instant and all these things. So, knowledge, Krishna explained to him. By way of knowledge, we are confused and we have to perform our prescribed duty. Arjuna prescribed duty was a Kshatriya. He didn't want to fight. So Krishna had to remind him. He was confused, he didn't know what to do. He was saying all these things and Krishna didn't answer until he surrendered to Krishna and said, no, I am your disciple. Shishyaste Amushari Mahaprabhu. Now I'm your disciple and soul surrender to you. Please instruct me. So when we are confused, we don't know what to do, we need to seek advice from senior devotees. If the Guru especially, when Guru is not there, senior devotees, we need to seek advice. Because we may think we are right. Arjuna was, from a layman's point of view, he was correct. But he preferred to become a mendicant than perform his duty. And Krishna says, don't think by not performing your duty you will not incur sin. You will incur sin actually if you fail to perform your prescribed duty. This is what we call action in inaction. Don't people get confused. What is action in an action? And inaction in action. There's a word like that. Because action in an action is that he didn't want to perform any action. But there is an action, a reaction for that. For failing to perform his spiritual duty, there is a reaction. That is called action in inaction. So we have to perform our prescribed duty. We have to learn what our prescribed duties are.
How do we do that?
Scripture tells if we are, whatever ashram we are in, we have certain prescribed duties. But when you come to the end, you cannot, when you reach a point of total surrender to the service of the Lord, then you no longer have any prescribed duty towards forefather, duty towards any God, duty towards country and all these things. When you fully surrender to Krishna's duty, then automatically all those people you are supposed to render service to, they automatically will be provided for taking care of the Supreme Lord. When there's a pure devotee in the family, 20 generation, 10 back and 10 front, the same, right? Something like that. He or she. So, any question? Just
What are, can you tell me what the qualities of a guru are?
the qualities of a guru.
Yeah, like a spiritual master.
So,
And to be able to accept one.
yes, I was talking about origins of the senses. I didn't talk about the senses, but the senses, there's a verse in the first verse in Nectar of Instruction. One who can control the origin of the tongue, belly, and genital can make disciples all over the world. And, but of course, that is just one part of it. A bona fide guru, Srila Prabhupada used the term bona fide guru, is one who is coming down to the unbroken chain of sacred succession. If you go to 4, 2, and Bhagavad Gita 4.2 and 4.3 talks about this teaching is coming down to an unbroken chain of disciple succession. And in the course of time, the succession got broken. That's 4.2 Bhagavad Gita. And that's why Krishna gave him back. So this bona fide guru is one who is coming down to an unbroken chain of disciple succession from Brahma, who was got instruction from Krishna directly. Then Brahma to Narada and so forth, down straight to Prabhupada and Prabhupada to his disciples and to us. So that's why Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita is titled Bhagavad Gita as it is. So a bona fide guru is one who is not giving his own interpretation to the scripture. He is giving what the previous guru gave. He is not adding anything to it. Yes.
But within that regards, could there be gurus of other traditions that are not Krishna, but Krishna is one, so therefore speaks the same? If you receive your devotee to Krishna through a different path, is it not the same?
There are 4 bona fide sampradayas we call line of disciple succession. If the guru is coming from one of those lines, yes, it's good. As far as my knowledge
Here
goes.
we are practicing Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
and so whenever you're practicing Krishna consciousness, specifically Bhakti Yoga, it's not required, but it's preferred to take a shelter under somebody who actually knows this specific practice. So there are other practices for you to connect with other aspects of Krishna, but here we are specifically practicing Bhakti Yoga, and we're learning a certain way to approach Krishna. And so we must take shelter under somebody who is authorized as per our scriptures.
But there are other yogas.
Well, yeah, there are other yogas, other gurus and stuff like that, but at least within our practice, we have a set sampradaya that we like to follow.
You have to understand also that Krishna is the supreme cause of all causes.
One.
Every other personality, even Lord Vishnu is a partial expansion. You have everyone else is a partial expansion or part of partial expansion of Krishna. But Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a yoga called hot yoga. Have you heard that? No. Hot yoga is one of them. There's another one called hot yoga, where they increase the temperature. You heard it? But there is no origin of those yoga. So you can make anything yoga. Anything yoga, oh wow, I'm going to do this. So we have to know these origins and what Prabhu was saying. The 4 people who heard directly from Krishna made the sampradayas from those sampradayas or those branches or organizations, how I simply can understand, is from where, like the 4 roads will all meet I-4, for example. So this, to get I-4, any of those 4 will get you to I-4. But otherwise you're not getting to I-4, right? So any of these 4 sampradayas or lineage we are going through to even get eventually to Krishna consciousness. We are so lucky, so fortunate. Our Srila Prabhupada had kept this movement alive by keeping his country directly to Krishna through his books, through his lineage, so we all know where to speak this, where does he live, who are his. But if you go to a kindergarten or pre-K, and you think my kid will become a doctor one day, of course he'll become one day, but they still have to go through the stages to get to the point. So reaching Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga, we can be anywhere, but if you desire to reach the highest goal, Krishna will invite you to join one of the devotees or make you reduce, like you come here now, to come and join part of this. And let me just also add for Monique's question about gurus, how do we know who is a guru? You mentioned a lot of different points. So one of the gurus is that he has to be a devotee of Krishna. And we have a whole detail about this in our ISKCON Disciples course. So this way it helps us to understand what to be seeing in a guru, what a guru should be having in his soul, and also what a disciple should be having too. Most of the time we don't want to know who the guru is, and am I qualified to become a disciple or no? It's like when you apply for a job, we need to have some prerequisites, right? Okay, you have to do this, okay, I didn't do QuickBooks or whatever, right? So they will help you to teach you something like that. But our system, as ISKCON is made, the disciples course helps us to understand the conditions of the requirements of the Guru. And this way, and here in Bhakti House, we work with the guidance here in my society, we work guide our students to see those formalities can be fulfilled later on, but the prerequisites are being followed now. So you could be almost an initiated devotee without being initiated, but following the practices, following the principles, understanding what we are doing, why we are doing, and eventually we're Prabhupada. So we will have, and we also have gurus who come here regularly. Otherwise, if you don't get connection with the gurus, it's difficult, to maintain your bhakti sadhana.
Wait, say the last part again.
If we want to have those gurus who come here regularly, this way we are able to connect with them easily, so that if anything, questions or doubts arises, so we know my guru is there, and also reach out to him. So within reachable level. So this way we can always connect and discuss it. Otherwise, everyone is here, they will pretty much know the basics requirements of guru. And yeah, checking out a guru is an important thing in life. It takes time and a lot of faith. I know that. So,
Yeah.
It's a good question Prabhu asked. Why I say good question is because there's a way we can know whether we are wasting time or whether we are spending our time correctly, and we are making so we can make progress. Lord Krishna in chapter 16, verse 23, the Supreme Truth about Truth says, Yashasha Vidim Utsrijya Vatade Kama Karta Nasasirim Modi Nasukam Na Paramrati. What this means? Lord Krishna says, if one gives up the instructions of scripture and act whimsically, he cannot get perfection, nasasirim, avatodi, nasukam, nor happiness, nor he cannot achieve the supreme destination. Is that the way? 1623.
yeah.
Can someone read it?
Wait, what is it?
1623.
He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection, nor happiness, nor the supreme destination.
So whatever we do must be sounded in scripture, especially Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken by Krishna is total truth. There is no truth supreme. Krishna says, everything rests on me as poles are strong with thread. Then Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I'm the source of all spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. The wise one knows the engagement in devotional struggles. Any other question? Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, I have a follow-up question from Radhika Kumataji. When she asked about, when she asked about you said that there are certain varnashrams and there are certain duties that scripture is assigned for the varnashram, and then one is fully surrendered to him, then he can give up all other duties of nation, demigods and all. So in our practical life, what is that full surrender that we talk about, so that we don't have any other duties? Because from my understanding, Arjun also talks about taking sannyas, but Krishna chastises him that this is not correct. So from my understanding, Arjun is taking things which are not according to his varnashram dharma. So, and us coming to Krishna consciousness from various backgrounds, so what is at that practical thing at our point we reach at, that we understand that yes, only Krishna we have to worship, no demigods we have to go through, and just for sake of religiosity and other other parampara that we go in our house. So how do we make the balance in those things?
I would say the sannyasis who have surrendered, their full life is full-time Krishna consciousness. That's full surrender. But as long as if you're in Grihastha ashram, you have a responsibility towards your spouse, your children. You know, like a church leader, they are responsible to, you know, maintain law and order and all this stuff like that. That's why Krishna says, your duty is to fight. You don't, you know, you want to be a man, become, that's your duty. But of course, so stage by stage, it doesn't mean that one has to stay in one ashram. As we can see, Brahmachari move up to Grihastha, to Vanaprastha, and to Sannyas. No one is not born anything. As a matter of fact, everyone is born Sudra in Kali Yuga. We are trained and, you know, we qualified. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, just to look at more practical example. When you're walking in your house or playing a game and the internet goes out, then you say a few bad words. But when it comes to what do you say? Thank God. There you go, Prabhu got the answer right there. So internet provider is only doing the providing part of it. Right? The government has told the internet providers to provide internet to every of the citizens. And of course, they take us tax, whatever we are doing some of our services, right? Thank God. So providing these things there is their job. Indra now, we were talking about Damodar Krishna come in Govardhan Puja. So Indra's job is to do what? Give rain. If you don't worship Indra,
You get no rain.
you get no rain. Wrong. That's what Krishna said. He says, worship me. When they worship Krishna, what happened?
They get lots of rain.
Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of rain. And no one drowned, nothing awful, nothing happened. It didn't come to the BBC News, flooding in Govardhan, no. Lots of rain. So worshipping Indra, he gives you only the amount of your quota. You're supposed to get only 10% rain in Orlando and 100% in New York, for example. Right? But if you worship Krishna, you get everything. So now, if someone comes to your house and your dad is there, and someone comes to offers offices to you, what do you want to tell them?
Peace to my dad.
To you. Exactly. So the demigods are same way. If we go to them to worship them, they will say, no, 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 no. Respect is different thing. Yeah, we all respect. Of course, he's like your dad. So we respect him. My dad, respect him. But if you start worshiping him in temple, what we will say? We know that.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, not me. Anyone, no one can take this. So same way, the demigods know their position. Now, if we have been mistaken in saying that yes, there has to be worship, that's their misconception. Now, Gita clearly said, chapter 7, we most talks about it. So that's why we can study, follow, and accept and move on. But worship, like if we devotees go to some temple, we see that all the demigods there, we definitely put food underwards. Our senior brothers there, right away. They are better the devotees than us, so we give respects. But as soon as you worship them, they don't like it. So yeah. But Indra was a different story. That's why Krishna had to teach him a lesson. He said, I need worship. Yes, bring it on. Bring it on. But Krishna said no. But yeah, that's what they was how to understand it. But yeah, they are very nice. They are very nice. Entities to be around. They have the services to be done. And whatever services, if we can assist them, we definitely assist them with the same Krishna. Eventually. Hare Krishna.
There is no need to worship the demigods. Bhagavatam says, Akaram sarva kamova, akama sarva kamova, moksha kama udar vibhakti, different bhakti yogin, Jita Purusham Paramam. If one is full of, if one is full of desire or has no desire, akama, if one has no desire or full of desire, or he doesn't want, he wants liberation or not, he should not worship the Supreme Holy, Supreme Lord. Just like throwing water on the root, then all your leaves, all your branches will get benefit. Another thing is that, another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam says, Sarva Deva Maya Guru. Guru is representative of all the devas. Sarva Deva Maya Guru. So you start when we worship Prabhupada. When we worship Prabhupada, Guru, we automatically place it for 3 million devas. Sarva Deva Maya Guru.
Prabhu?
Yeah.
my distinct question is, you talked about respect and worship. What is the difference between a respect and worship? Like, this offering diya,
Yeah.
is it respect or is it worship?
That's worship. That's worship.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if we go to, like, let's say demigod temple, right? Let's say people are offering Bel Patra to Lord Shiva or water to Lord Shiva. Is that worshipping Lord Shiva or is that respecting Lord Shiva?
Yeah, what intent we do. So in ISKCON temples, the devotees also worship Lord Shiva by offering him the Belpatra leaf. So that will make him happy.
Okay.
Not that I'm giving you, you give me the food that this guy also got. The one who came, 100 came, that's it. He got so many things back. That's that kind of worship. So we also have Lord Shiva here on the Navastami day. We do parikrama, we offer things to him, but not with the intent of receiving things. We're receiving him, asking him for bhakti of Krishna. That kind of worship, if you call that worship, we can do the worship. Om Ganapati Namaha, please give me bhakti of Krishna. That's fine, we can do this thing. They want to give us this. That's worship. But just doing worship, Om Jai Jagadish Hare, give me a house by the sea, that's worship. Yeah. That's what we want to do.
Is there room for another question, Prabhu?
Yeah, lot of
Before there's
room.
just one point about worship. I don't need mic. You can
But give that
but,
very
worship is in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada always says worship is only for Krishna.
No, but the meaning of worship is important.
Oh, meaning of it. But worship is only for Krishna. Other
What is it? After you.
Prabhuji mentioned, I think 2 or 3 times, abandon or, wait, I don't want to say that.
Desire for material.
Abandon material desires. So there are many young people here, I don't want them to think that this is for my mom and dad, not for me. So can you please clear that for us? What do you mean by abandon material desires? When should one do it? These 2.
If you have material desires, and you think of material desire, your desire for your happiness, rather than for pleasing Krishna. So, for one to be able to control the mind and the senses, they have to practice yoga or bhakti or any kind of yoga, bhakti yoga. As for Ashtanga yoga, to practice Ashtanga yoga, there has to be celibacy. So, bhakti yoga, to control this force here, to be able to control the mind and the senses. The senses are so strong, And in other words, to control the senses is 259. Vishaya Vinivatante Nilaha Sadhina Hasarasam Param Drishtam Nivatati. The soul or the woman may be restricted on sense object, but the taste for sense object remains. But by experiencing a higher taste, one is fixed in consciousness. So, for example, everyone experiences higher taste, to eat prasadam, and they just want love of prasadam. You don't want those who, in all my early days before I became devotee, you see meat and all this meat and so forth. Prasadam, and a piece of prasadam, you don't want to see that anymore. So this is the thing. Devotional service is not dry and pale. In 9.2, it says this devotional service is susukam kartam ayam. It's joyfully performed. As you can see, chant and dance and eat prasadam and listen to nice philosophy, Krishna pastime. It's so happy, blissful. The thing is this, when we start enjoying bliss is ever increasing. It doesn't become pale and rejected like gratifying the sense objects. One can have the most beautiful spouse, and after a while you're looking for another spouse. It's like a chewing gum. After a while you spit out the chewing gum. That's material gratifying sense. That's material happiness. And it's always comes with distress attached to it. But this happiness that comes from devotional service is ever increasing. That is why the hippies, they were looking for happiness. They were looking for happiness from drugs and all these things. But when they start to get a real happiness, the higher taste, they were able to keep up the drugs happy like that without having to go to any detox program. And then some of them are sannyasis. So that this is not, scripture is saying so that when we are in conditioned life, it's again that this is condition. And sugar candy is sweet. And if you eat sugar, when you suffer from jaundice, and if you eat the sugar candy, it tastes bitter. But if you continue eating it, after a while you start getting sweetness. So similar, this devotional life practice is like that. In the beginning you might not, and while bit by bit you get the sweetness. More and more and more and more and more. No one can tell me to go back to, or us to go back to that kind of life we used before. No. We're not happy. You know, well, in my days, young I used to go out there and party and all things. You know, now, and the time where I dance with the Lord now, and I eat prasada, I still have fun. In my job, I tell you folks at the job, I party every week. I said, what? you don't get a religious one, you party every week? I said, yes. Transcendental party, spiritual party. Oh, okay. So we party. We talk still whatever we were doing to Christian constant activities. You don't have to really give up anything. If you have a job, you still work at a job, or you throw your fruits to the action, fruits, to Krishna constant activity. How much blessings will you get? Bit by bit, you have to learn to that you are actually material, to give up material things. Bit by bit, you have to do that.
Yeah. Guruji, Hare Krishna. Guruji, you said Arjuna has to fight because he's a Kshatriya, it's your responsibility to fight. But I read Gita as well, he said it's not only because of Kshatriya he has to fight. Everyone being a human, he always gets a choice to choose between dharma, satya, right and wrong. So he said, Krishna, look at the people, against me who is Dhamma, the Dronacharya, they are my gurus, they are my father figure, how I can fight. So Krishna said, your body, you're thinking that you're their parents, they're like you're the cousins, you're the father figure and the gurus. But when your soul has to decide whether it's you're fighting for Satya or Asatya. Now my question here is, we all are Arjunas here. We are lost, we are confused. So in that sense, is that on your responsibility being a Kshatriya? You have to fight, or we have to get the consciousness and the guidance from Krishna and then fight for our life as well in a day-to-day our routine? What do you think?
We have to understand that we are not this body. Not going to understand, realize it more and more. That is why I didn't know, he thought he was right. But Krishna had to correct him. That you think you can kill, you can't kill your soul, you're not this body, you're a soul. And you're breathing for Krishna Pita and Dronacharya, their body are old, and you change your old body for new body. You change your old car for a new car, why are you worried? So, and then one does not remain a Kshatriya or remain a householder. We find in the scripture, Vishwamitra and even Dronacharya was a Brahmin before, and he became a Kshatriya.
Yeah.
So in say one lifetime you can change from Brahmin to Kshatriya and all these things. Quality. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishnava, Shara. Anyway, the four ashrams, or you fit into the ashrama country of guna karma, quality of work, not janma.
Yeah. So it means the situation comes, so we all have to become Kshatriya to fight against adharma. That's what we say.
Under guidance.
Under guidance, yes.
So we remain the Kshatriya. So we are Kshatriyas right now.
Yeah.
Who am I supposed to fight with?
Yeah.
Exactly, who said that? Maya means illusion.
Yeah.
Illusion. So I have to fight the illusion. So illusion means that I think I am the controller of this material world, right? And everyone should serve. So someone should tell me, actually you're not a $1, small servant, small person, everything you have is material and temporary, you go away. So this person is my teacher, my guru, who opens my eyes with the kind of knowledge. The Prabhupada opens up, right?
Yeah.
So now, abandoning the material desires, what do? We dovetail them into being used for Krishna service. Now, I work extra hours, I got bonus, extra, what do you call it? No, bonus, but overtime. I used to get $100. I got $250 now this week, $150 overtime. So since you don't know what to do with that, every time I have $100, I pay bills, all this thing. When you're not sure what to do, you bill them $150, you put the donation box. That's how you. But otherwise, that $150 will take you to some nightclub, some bars, some Disney here and there, right? And then you heard from me now, under guidance. So this is one example. Otherwise, we will always be thinking, I have to make decision. If we have to make decision, we need a guru. We need guru so that we can tell us, yes,
The guidance.
what is good for you,
Yeah.
being the person. So we don't leave anything. If we want to become Krishna consciousness, we don't leave anything. We just add Krishna to our other activities.
Yeah.
Usually what the problem is that we leave Krishna aside. No, we get him back in or add Krishna, other than leaving everything else. You have a question? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
You have a question?
No, I'll just speak with him later if you don't mind. I think it's proper.
That's
Just
fine.
speak more later.
The Avanti Brahman,
About the Brahmana, yeah.
he was wealthy, but he was miserly. He was even punishing his, not providing much for his wife and children and all these things. And eventually lost everything. And then was begging and all this, and people did so many wrong. He started to realize that he worked so hard, and he was just working to get more money, but he was not spending it on himself, on his family members, nor to any religious cause. And then he undergone so much suffering. People spit on him, really urine on him, and all this when he's begging, and all kind of things. And there's one verse in Sura Bhagavatam 11 Canto 11:23-42. You put it up and finish it, close up. 11:23-42. Where he talks about these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, nor they deal with us. And that's the question.
Yes. The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, neither are the demigods. My own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life.
So that is why it's so important to try to console the mind. The mind alone is the cause for happiness and distress and the rotation, the coming and going. The mind alone. The mind is the root cause of the fall down process 62, 262, 63. The mind is mind. It needs engagement. This monkey mind needs engagement in Krishna's conscious activity as much as possible. This we should be engaged in heart. I forgot to bring on this point. So on this, Avanti Brahman has said he was rich, but miserly, and he ended up terribly. Eventually, he learned his lesson, and he devoted it. So we have money, we should not be too miserly. We should not be miserly. Any other question? Or any comments? So anyone has any take home?
I'll take it now if you don't
Yes.
mind.
I understand the concept of Krishna consciousness versus pantheonic demigods, which are aspects of self. One, Because Krishna as consciousness, the Krishna. Because you have the small Krishna and you got the big Krishna. We are within the samsara, trying to break through. But there are three aspects of self, right? You have the Holy Trinity of Krishna. Within the Holy Trinity of Krishna, you have the Creator, you have all the different yoga aspects of devotion to Krishna as the Krishna. So my question to you is, what happens if you have not had the privilege to live in a place where it can be explained to you in the proper manner with a guru that has the direct line? Because you were born in the jungle, you see. Like my friend here, she has a different path to Krishna. They believe the exact same thing. It's exact same words. It's really cool. I like to see it from that perspective because they believe in Krishna consciousness. But it's being taught to them by the land, a direct connection to Krishna. So I apologize. I'd like to understand a little bit more how, because I totally agree. There's a lot of people, you need to find a guru to explain to you how to develop the relationship that the land gives you to be one with the Krishna consciousness. Because that's basically Krishna consciousness, right? Apologies. I just need explanation.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita as it is, the purport is spoken by a pure Guru, Srila Prabhupada. In every verse, almost every verse is an explanation. Srila Prabhupada explains the verse. So there, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, is not just consciousness. He has three aspects. It's not Trinity. Bhagavad Gita doesn't talk about Trinity. Bhagavad Gita talks about three aspects of the Supreme Lord. Brahman realization, which is the effluence, the light coming from the body of the Lord. Like Moses saw the light, the burning bush. That's the Brahman effulgence from the body of the Lord, the light from the body of the Lord. Then we have the Paramatma feature, the Vishnu form in the heart of the Lord, on whom the yogi meditates on. Like in the chapter 6, was describing the Ashtanga Yoga system where the yogi meditates on Paramatma feature of the Lord. That's with Paramatma realization. That's the other aspect. If one becomes perfect in that, he goes to Vishnu Lok. But he knows that this is Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. So there is all reverence. He just simply has servant there. The first one, the Brahman effulgence, the Brahman realization, the soul merges into the Brahma Jyoti. It's like, so in one place, there is no activity. And by nature, the soul is active. It's like you have a child in a room and provide everything for a child, but there is no one here to come into, to play with or what have you. So such people who, in persons, they come back in this world to build schools and hospitals because of lack of any kind of pleasure, relationship up there. But the highest form of God realization is the personal form, the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. Where you go to Krishna Lok, and you play with Krishna, and you have so many rasas, so many relationships you can have with Krishna. As a friend, as you can be a parent of him, like that. Or a lover of Krishna, or take a passive role as one of his bearer, fruit, or a servant of Krishna. Definitely servant of Krishna. But when you go to Krishna Lok, it's just pleasure pastime. You don't know that this is Supreme Lord. You think he's your friend. So you play like this and sweet, fast, loving pastimes. So it's the highest. Yes. Bhagavad Gita has all these things.
You become aware that you are part of Krishna. You become Krishna consciousness because you understand that your consciousness and Krishna, you're just a sliver of it. You're a part of Krishna.
We all are. Because we are soul, we have this body.
Yeah, when you understand the truth of that fact that you are directly connected to Krishna.
This is it. Mamai wa amso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Everyone is eternal part and parts of me. Eternal jiva bhuta sanatana, jiva soul.
But we're not him.
Who?
We're not Krishna.
Oh,
He's
no,
part and
no, no.
parcels of us.
No, there is only one.
Yeah.
There is only one Krishna. You can't be Krishna.
Yeah.
You are a part of it. Everything is part of it.
Yeah.
So
If
any
that's
other
what you have.
question?
That's
I don't know more to answer to your
No, no.
question, Prabhu. I'm not.
Thank you.
I'm just simply devoting. So that I don't know so much. Just reading Prabhupada books and so forth. Well, lots of stuff in Bhagavad Gita you can get to learn. No matter if you're in the jungle, you have Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is. He explains that these verses in his purport. Whether you're in the jungle or
it was a nice story.
If anyone has any questions, they can also ask after that. He will now as son of Bhakti.
Okay, yeah, no, please.